Hey everybody, good evening. It's me, DIGI. Welcome aboard. I am streaming in FS 2020 tonight. Just a relatively quick stream. I'm curious to see what a recent BIOS update does to my performance in FS 2020. Just curious. I know that my PC isn't in the best shape at the moment because I think the CMOS battery is kind of fried. Not fried as in cooked, but just old. And next time I get a payout, I'm probably going to spend the $5 or $6 that's required to get a replacement CMOS battery and replace it. Because I've had the same CMOS battery for literally since 2021 when I first assembled it. And that was late fall 2021. So I've had it for going on 4 years, but basically 3.5 at this point. So we're going to do a quick flight in FS 2020, a quick ferry flight, just to see what this thing performs like and see whether or not we actually have an issue. I mean, this is going to be like an ultra quick flight. This isn't even going to be anything remotely resembling procedure. So I'm not going to fire up FS2 Crew. I'm probably going to grab the 787-10 or 787-800, and we're going to do like a ridiculously quick ferry flight. Maybe something like New York, Boston, or like Philly, Norfolk, or I don't know. Something quick just to test it. Hopefully, everyone's having a good day today. Hopefully, you've been having a good week so far. I am grateful. I'm grateful to be at this point during the week. Even in the midst of some, we'll just call them trying times, Yahweh is still good. So, let me show him the praise he is due. My Heavenly Father is awesome. He makes all things work together for the good of those who love him and are called to his purpose. So, do I want to fly in the States though? Do I want to fly overseas? Because I have not flown overseas in any airliner in a while. So, let's just mess around. Let's see what we can do. We could try going to Ataturk in Turkey or Athens, or we could try flying in Africa for a change, or we could try, let's see. I wonder if there are any starred airports other than Madrid. I'm checking. Well, I mean, let's see. Ooh, Faro and Gibraltar. Hmm. Okay, let's take it in a slightly different direction. How big is Vasa? It's an 8,000 foot long runway, so in theory, I could launch a 787 off of it. So, Vasa to Helsinki? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's cool and all, but I don't know if I'd get the workout that I'm trying to get. Well, I could do Heathrow to Amsterdam, and that would be a stretch. Okay. No, not the heliport. I want to go to Heathrow. So, I wish there was a way for me to be able to tell at a glance which of these terminals was actually, you know, heavy parking. I'm going to take a chance and say gate 318. And before I actually finalize, I'm going to choose airliners. Let's see. Do I want? You know what? Okay, let's take the classic. Let's take the 78X, and let's just say we're ferrying over to Amsterdam for a transatlantic. So livery could do British Airways, could do Condor, which I kind of like actually, and Condor. I'll just pretend that the next cruise is gonna fly Condor to, I don't know, New York. So that's good. It's going to be a reposition, so no more than 50% fuel. Actually, I'd probably make that on 25% fuel, and the payload's pretty light. So you know what? I'll take the numbers that are there right now. We'll choose that gate for departure, and let's go ahead and load in. What are live conditions right now? It's 3:39 in the morning. Let's do about 5:38 a.m. See if it's light out enough, and let's get started. Again, just a quick demo. Probably about a 40-minute flight, not counting the run-up time. And again, this is not going to be super realistic. It's not even going to pretend to be realistic. I'm just doing a performance test. But to everyone watching, to everyone offering support and lurking or watching the VOD, thank you for your support. Appreciate having you aboard. We are in FS 2020 and I am just doing a quick test. I installed a BIOS update and I don't remember if there were or weren't any options that were added for the AMD Performance Boost Overdrive that I usually use on my Ryzen 9 5900, which of course is at this point an old processor. I know. It's kind of fun. All right, so in terms of what we're actually using, I am using DLSS with DLA anti-aliasing. So it's probably not going to be as good as like TAA, but this is going to be as close as I can get to a compromise without going over. And no worries. And I'm glad I picked the Condor livery. I really like the colors. Reminds me of the extinct Thomas Cook livery, which I liked. Now, do I even care about hooking up the jetways? To be honest, kinda no. But let me see what the performance is like right now. I have not turned on lossless scaling, and I'm getting like literally local lows in the oof single digits when I pan around a lot. I wonder why that is. I wonder just how much texturing is being loaded in. My texture resolution is medium, it's not high. But I mean, we do have a pretty beefy airport. So, let me double check my graphics settings. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? This went to quality. I get it. I forgot that I optimized this with the NVIDIA optimizer. So we have DLSS super resolution and quality. Fidelity sharpening is at 100. And I don't know. I wonder if I could do more than 100, but I might skip over that for now. Let's see, VSync is off, low latency is on. I am on the DX12 beta. Global quality is custom. Ah, okay. So I have terrain level of detail set to 150. I wonder if that's doing it. Probably not. A lot of stuff is set to 150, and I don't see a need to take objects level of detail to 150. I'm going to leave it at 100. Texture resolution is actually high. That could be a problem, but we'll see what happens. Anisotropic filtering is, I think, maxed. Water waves medium. Not that I'm looking at the water that much. And what do we have? Ambient occlusion high, Raymarsh reflections high, bloom on. I don't care about depth of field. I do not care about motion blur, lens correction, lens flare. Refresh rate can stay medium. Okay, so let's see. I don't actually usually mess with lens bloom, and I'm going to stick the texture resolution at medium and leave it there and see what happens. If I get somewhere and I don't see the usual default jetway spawn in, it won't make me, want to keep texture resolution at high. And I think we're good. I think we're good. That's fine. I get it. Okay, now, given this is a payware add-on airport and there is so much that's being loaded in, I can't expect this to be a utterly smooth experience. Although I do like that nice 70X that just took off. Very nice, very nice. Now, the question is, do I want to turn up for lossless scaling, knowing my turbulent history with it, or if not turbulent, at least hit or miss. I think I'm going to turn it on anyway. I'm getting high 30s at Gatwick with my current setup, which honestly, you know, in the old days, if you got high 30s at an airport this detailed, you'd just be really happy. Fortunately, panning in the flight deck is generally okay. Generally. And let's go ahead and pretend we have cranked up, and we'll turn the battery on. There is a lot being loaded, and I'm wondering why. Is it because I don't think it's because of the anisotropic filtering. I don't think. Let me check upstairs. Let's get the IRSs turned on and get the window heats up. I'll leave the fuel pumps on, and let's see. Nav and logo lights, and am I missing anything? Oh, right. PAX on. Excuse me, PAX auto. FD door power all the way up. I can probably do that so I don't have to keep zooming out. Battery test is high. Towing power I don't get to pick. And we will do a slightly cold flight deck and a very cold cabin. You know the saying, kids. A cold passenger is a compliant passenger. Alright, so external batteries on. APU hasn't started up yet. And fuel pumps are available. Packs are auto. We'll get the anti-ice to auto. And let's go ahead and let's see, overhead panel lighting is all the way up. Glare shields all the way up. Oof. Wow. Okay. Am I worried about that? Mm, not right now, to be honest. Let's get the panel lighting all the way up. On the bottom, where are we? We're over here. I forgot about that. It likes to zoom in. I don't like the stuttering going on right now, though. That's for sure. But then again, I haven't flown out of an airport this detailed yet in the old new setup. In other words, the forgotten setup. So let's get the transponder going and let's have a little bit of fun. There we go. TRA because I don't care and I want to get out of here really fast. And I forget. But you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to do an RNAV approach into Amsterdam if we actually get the opportunity to, which I believe we will. So I don't have to deal with an ILS approach. I do wish the computer was a touch more performant right now. So I'm going to close some windows. That should probably take care of it for me. All right. This is good. We'll set the indicated speed all the way up to 250. There's going to be a rudimentary VNAV in place, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go downstairs and take a look at the screens. Pausing it, we're going to take off from EGLL. So we're leaving Heathrow and GPS positioning is set. We're going to go from EGLL to EHAM as CDR 1907. And again, I'm just totally making this up, just doing this for the sake of getting out of town. I don't know what runways exist here. I've forgotten. So let's just take a look real quick. What runways are there? OpenNav. So, okay, 27 left and right. Probably going to take 27 left. And there we are. Activate the flight plan. Execute. We're going to do... Well, this is when I started to pay careful attention to the... careful attention to the chart, or excuse me, the map. So we're going to see... we're going to see what a departure out of here is going to look like. So 27 left, and that makes no sense. That definitely makes no sense. 27 left. Wait. Oh, we are pointing in that direction. Ha. Okay. So, actually, no. No. The Delta Echo Tango 2 Golf departure actually makes sense because we're going to be flying to the east. So let's go ahead and choose that. Go to route, execute, and then if we go to, can I do plan mode in this thing? Oh, excuse me, I pressed the wrong button. Come on. Yes, I can go to plan mode. Unless I can't choose. Oh, silly. Okay. We're going to do an arrival into. We're going to do an arrival into Amsterdam. Really? That's interesting. All right, let's pick the arrival. Let's get some basic weather. And real world weather says conditions are cav okay and the winds are coming in from the east at 10. So ILS 06. Do we have an RNAV? We do have an RNAV for 06. And there's 06 and then there's 09er, which is actually even better. Cargo, we're flying to Amsterdam. Just doing a quick performance test. My CMOS battery is starting to flake out, so on top of the fact that I did a BIOS update, I'm testing to see whether or not the BIOS update with regards to performance boost overdrive for my AMD processor actually makes the sim run faster. Now, I've got some big ticket items clicked in right now, like high texture resolution, high cloud quality, stuff like that. So we're gonna do a little weirdness here, and we're just gonna go ahead and enjoy it. We're doing full send here, cargo. I'm not doing anything sincerely major with regards to the flight plan. I'm literally flying the departure and going direct to the ILS approach to, to Amsterdam. So it literally is what it is, and I don't care. We're just doing a quick test for funsies. So if I step, now we have the ILS approach, and now I can land 09er. The only thing I don't know is how long that runway is. We'll find out together. But there it is. It's a 09er. I'm assuming that runway is going to be fairly good. We're kind of a light plane today anyway, so we'll we'll stress test the plane and the pilot at the same time. How about that? So let's go ahead and continue setting up the flight. And we're going to do a perf init. We're going to take the fuel that's sensed, and I don't know if we have reserves. I'm going to say we have at least 30,000 pounds on reserve. This is literally what, like an hour flight? We should be okay. So we're probably going to climb to flight level 310, maybe even 33. And then cost the next, we're going to make like, I don't know, 150 or something. We're flooring it. And if we execute that, computer top of descent is before top of climb. I've never gotten that before in my life. Okay, okay. 270 then. That's better. That's a funny moment. You can laugh, chat. You can laugh. That was cool. So, cell, I'm not going to worry about performance. We're going to go full toga, full climb performance, full performance package, chat. And I think cruise unable. Yep. So let's see. What do we have in terms of flaps on this bird? We can do flaps 10, but we probably won't even need more than flaps 5, to be honest. And if we do CG, then we're going to do 375. Let's get that set. Wow, we are really pushing it. We're like literally on the edge of the trim envelope. That's funny. And I'm kind of surprised that the VREF speeds are actually that high. Um, rotate is literally 160. So That's different. Let me actually reflect that here. All right. Okay, so we've got the V2 speed set, and we're going to climb all the way up to 270 for our flight. I don't care. And departure heading is probably going to be 270, 275. We're not going to be facing that way very long. We are literally going to be like turning left after takeoff. So even if we get as high as like 400 feet on the initial takeoff roll, we're going to go straight to autopilot and let the bird fly out. So we've got flight directors on, auto throttle armed. Hit the old B button for the altimeter cheat, and we will at least get the units in hectopascals. We are QNH 1015. Will be fair. To be fair. And radio altimeter, we're going to do radio mins 200. 200. Come on down. Come on down. All right, almost. There we go. So radio mins 200, and that should be fine. I think that should be fine actually. All right, let's get the APUs started. Just the one, please. Get the beacon light on. Oh, we're pushing back from the gate. Ah. Today is just so chill. It's not even funny. Okay, so the APU should be starting up shortly, and APU gen is already on. We will get everything disconnected once we're ready to go. I will turn the wing lights on. Oh man, we're doing this straight up like 2018 with me and FSX turning all the lights on before I even push back from the gate on VATSIM. We just don't care. I'm not on VATSIM tonight, by the way. Um, this is just a quickie flight. So the APU is coming on, and let me think. You know what? I mean, this bird is powerful enough for us to reverse on our own, and we've got the fuel for it. Do we need... Actually, excuse me, we do have center tanks. Hello? Yeah, yeah, we're good. Okay, so it automatically disconnected the ground power, which is great. Let's go ahead and double check outside. I do believe, oh wow, my my scenery loading is less than ideal, but I do see some, yeah, I do see some petrol fumes coming out of the APU, so I believe we are good to go. All right, now I'm going to use my drone cam because I'm super lazy. We are we are here. We can't go through the terminal building. Obviously, that would be a bad thing. And is that 27 left all the way down there? Yes, it is. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to taxi out, hook a left, holding point blah blah blah, and then go down this taxiway all the way down until we can't taxi anymore and depart 27 left. Sure ain't what I call a professional briefing, but it sure works for me. So I do have the APU running right now, and we should be able to actually get the plane started. So what's left to do? Well, let's see. The transponders at the TARA, we're doing an RNAV approach, so I could care less about ILS frequencies. We should be able to get the engine started, disengage the parking brake, and because it's us, and I don't care, we can get the nose light and taxi light on, and we can actually get this bird started up right now. So, clear prop, engine number 2 start. Hey, Erock FX. I am honored. Thank you for stopping by today. We're just having some fun in the the default working title, Asobo 78710 in FS 2020. We're messing around. I'm just testing some performance settings. The NVIDIA AI decided to give me the beans with regards to higher graphic settings. So we're seeing if DLSS quality and potentially me turning on what is that, lossless scaling, is actually going to help my performance out here. And to top it off, I'm at any builds Heathrow, so I had frame rates high 30s before I turned on. Actually, I still haven't turned on lossless scaling, but we'll figure it out. And now I'm getting my left engine turned on, and I'm going to go ahead and configure my flaps, and we're going to get our lazy selves out of here. So once the engine's finished starting up, we are going to go and fly over to Amsterdam. And the FMC pre-flight is complete, which is great because we're leaving anyway. I don't care. And we've got the flight plan set. We've got the performance numbers set. We should be good at this point, as I stutter all over the place inside the cabin. I was not stuttering yesterday, and I think it has everything to do with the high texture resolution. So I'm assuming anywhere else that isn't a payware airport, I should be just fine. I will switch out of plan mode and go back to flight. And now I think we should be okay. I honestly think we should be fine. So let's see. We're squawking 2257. We have TCAS set TARA. Engines are running. Let's go ahead and shut off the APU, and now we should be able to start pushing back. So get the buckets out, release the parking brakes, and would you look at that? There we go. Beautiful. Nice little pushback. Power back approved. Let's go. Okay. Actually, before we do anything, let's have a little bit of fun. I'm going to go ahead and set the parking brake now. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to activate lossless scaling and see if we actually get improved performance. We should. The keyword is should be fine. And let's go to lossless scaling. Let's activate the program. Where's the executables? Right here. So this could be a very interesting flight, to be perfectly honest. I'm not going to be swapping. I'm not going to be, flipping and flopping through a whole bunch of windows. I'm just going to go ahead and make an educated guess throughout the entire flight. And seeing as this is basically a, over the channel op, I don't anticipate this flight lasting more than 40 minutes. So we should be fine. And now we have lossless scaling up. Let's go to LSFG 2.3. And now we'll see how this actually performs. Okay, parking brake release. Okay, by the way, chat, let me know if the volume is too low for the inside or the outside. I'm going to increase the volume a bit in my headset just so I kind of feel it out myself. I'm not liking the stuttering right now. I think the computer's working too hard to figure out 2x frame gen. So what I might do is let this thing coast and unscale and then basically rescale with the 1.1 version, and then we'll see whether or not we actually get better performance. Again, remember, I have, oh, seems quiet? Okay, good point. Let me bring the sim sounds up, especially with me talking as loud as I am. Sheesh. Okay, you should be hearing a lot more now. Let me know if you're not. Now, is that too much? Because the outside's going to get loud. Needs more cowbell. I got a fever. Oh my goodness. What a meme. Yeah, I'm walking here. I'm Christopher walking here. Hey. Oh my word. Protect that meme at all costs. All right, so we're still stuttery, but I mean, okay, I accept the fact that we're going to be dealing with issues at Heathrow. I think honestly, high texture resolution is not something my computer can handle, simply because of the fact that I only have 8 gigs of VRAM. So that's fine. And I have set medium texture resolution already, so the next time I boot up FS 2020, we should be okay. Lyles, welcome aboard, my friend. Very good to see you. Feel free to grab a free seat in business class. They're wide open. This is a ferry flight from London to Amsterdam. I'm doing a quick performance test of some, we'll just go ahead and call them recent changes. Unfortunately, the battery on my motherboard I think is starting to go. And one of the reasons why I'm pretty sure it is because is because when I was turning on my PC this week and last week, the drinks card is also open. Grab, save some YooHoo for me. Like save some Nestle's Quick for me. But I'm sure they'll bring you all the soda products and coffee you could ever want. It'll be a dry flight tonight, chat. I, to be honest with you, I actually did not do that much flying in the 90s. I think I did a grand total of like maybe 3 flights, maybe more. But at the same time, I did way more flying in the 20 teens. So much more. So suffice it to say, it was quite the experience. Okay, now let me hop back into the sim. Good, I can see my mouse pointer. I'm happy, because otherwise there would be no point in me having this. And just because I'm super lazy and don't care, I'm going to get my plane configured for takeoff right now. We have wing lights on, beacon nav logo. We already have the passenger signs to auto, the anti-ice to auto. So we should be fine. We should be fine. Yeah, no. The texture resolution to high at Heathrow by any builds, not happening on this computer. my my GPU is like, what are you doing to me right now, dude? Whew. Now, it's lower frame rate, and I think it's for two reasons. Number one, I have DX12 beta, which is gonna queue up more VRAM on demand, and it's basically gonna say, "Oh, you don't have enough VRAM? Tough. I don't care." Also, I have texture resolution to high, which is naturally going to load higher resolution texture sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and call this now. It should be significantly smoother when we land at Amsterdam, even though that airport has a huge amount of real estate. So, I mean, we got loads of grass loading in. So, let's see. Do I care about grass loading in? To be completely honest, no, but it does kind of add to the experience, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it be. Currently, I'm running a 3060 Ti. It's an 8 gig, and I think it's Ti for overclocked, so it's actually served me very well during my Flight Sim 2020 days, ever since 2020. I'm sorry, not 2020, ever since 2021 when I actually got it. But again, testing a different map right now in terms of performance boost, which I haven't actually checked. So when I get to the hold short line, I'm going to fire up HW monitor. But I'm not going to worry about that. Suffice it to say, Performance Boost Overdrive is supposed to intelligently boost single cores independently. Like the AI takes care of it so that I actually just fly the plane and the performance adjusts accordingly. Now, again, issues. So at the same time, we're going to have problems with getting the absolute most frame rate out of the sim. But my theory is, hey, we're not. This isn't an absolute urgency right now. Once I get my CMOS battery replaced, I'm probably going to go ahead and either pursue new overclocking maps, especially since I put a fresh coat of thermal paste this spring, or I'm going to just leave things be and let the computer handle all the overclocking, which, to be honest, it's probably going to do a good job for me anyway. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm literally not going to worry about it. So what am I missing right now? Not much. Oh, okay. I forgot the assignments on this thing actually make stuff go up and down. All right. So, oh, what was it? What did I say I was going to do? Oh, yeah. I'm skipping that. I'm not going to show the single core numbers. I'm just double checking to make sure I'm okay. There was something else I wanted to do though. What was it? Performance is set. Yeah, yeah. Actually, should be fine. I should be fine. I can hit the clock now. That would be good. And now I can get rid of the parking brake, spool up, and we have our trim set for departure. We'll make our way onto the runway and fly out to Amsterdam. Folks, I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I am no one's idea of a pro flight sim streamer, but I enjoy spending time hanging out with all of you. I don't think I have a problem with the grass loading in. I'm almost 1,000% sure it's the high texture resolution or the 4K texture sheets that are messing with my VRAM right now. So thank you so much to everybody that's coming in. Hopefully this should be the last of the stuttery graphics that you see on tonight's stream. I could theoretically turn the sim off and turn it back on again and load in here with medium texture resolution. I might even try low texture resolution again just to get smooth frame rates, but I'm also not worried about it. So let's see. I don't care about an incomplete checklist. You're talking to the wrong dude right now. Flaps are set, trim is set. Let's go flying. Ooh, these graphics though. Wow. Sorry for the really bad frames and the really bad takeoff roll. Wow. That has to be like the absolute worst stuttering I've ever had departing an airport. We'll just call that a ripe takeoff. Autopilot, LNAV, VNAV. Doing good at the moment. And this is instantly better, I feel. I can pan around the flight deck without having significant issues. Oh yeah, yeah. It was the it was definitely the ground textures or the textures in general. So I'm going to reserve judgment on the performance map until we get far enough away from Heathrow. And I don't know why we're not climbing the rest of the way. I'm assuming it's because of the restriction on the flight plan. Show me data. Yeah, that's weird. We should be climbing now. I don't know what's up. That's a little weird. Um, Also, I'm getting my frame rates back, which is great. Yeah, dude, we should be climbing. We really should be climbing. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and override this because we need to climb to altitude ASAP. The thought crossed my mind, but in general, I do not recall recent streams making my frame rates this bad at a particular airport. I did change graphic settings in here though. So let me just double check really quickly. I'm going to double check my general options again. So I took texture resolution from high back down to medium, but I'm currently running DX12. Now, DX12 in and of itself could be the primary reason why we had issues because I just probably tried loading everything I could and it overwhelmed my graphics card. Otherwise, I've got DLSS at quality and I'm going to try kicking terrain level of detail back to 100 because I didn't care about that before. And other than that, I think we should be okay now. Yeah, like in general, I would say in general, even a couple of weeks ago or a couple of weekends ago when I did my X-Plane 12 stream to the Caribbean, I mean, X-Plane 12 was absolutely kicking it. I didn't have my ortho streaming, but I tried flying with ortho once or twice on stream. It didn't have that much trouble. I think with one proviso being stuttering on landing into Norfolk, but that was stuttering on landing, not on takeoff. Let me check outside real quick after I get the landing lights off. Yeah, yeah, we're much better now. I think you're right. I think you're right. And again, I'm gonna have to keep a vigilant eye on it until I get my CMOS battery replaced, because every single time I turn the computer on, it's probably gonna forget some of the performance boost overdrive settings. Actually, you know what? This might be a great time to check the single core speeds that are being hit. So let me check everything and go straight to my PC. We're going to go ahead and clear min max. Okay, now I am getting different core speeds, and single core speeds are going as high as 4.8 gigs. So the overclocking algorithm is doing what it's supposed to. I'm almost 1,000% sure that was a GPU issue. So actually, actually, most of the overclock settings have been retained. The problem, I think, was just the what I'm trying to say, the GPU memory usage. Unfortunately, that means I should most likely expect some stuttering on touchdown in Amsterdam. However, I'm probably not going to expect a whole bunch of it. And I think the primary reason why is because the Amsterdam scenery is bespoke, like it's kind of like an upgrade, but it's not a payware scenery. So the scenery textures are probably not going to be huge. I don't think so. All right, we'll keep the in-cabin view looking like that. It's too bad I can't pan it when I'm in this view, but that's okay. This is a default 7.8X anyway, so I'm not expecting to be able to see a cabin. But otherwise, we're doing great now. And what struck me as funny was that I did a flight yesterday or a couple nights ago to test the reset settings, and I was fine in the default A320 Neo. So I guess it should have made me double check. Like, there's probably not as much modeled complexity or screens that are open in the Neo as there are in the 787. So that bears repeating. Like taking care of business, doing what's required is probably going to be fine. And just so I'm ready for top of drop, I need to be, I think, at 2,000 when we get ready to descend. So descent is probably not going to be that far away. Let's see. Yeah, literally, we've got like a 40 nautical mile cruise before we actually hit descent. Fortunately, though, we are actually going to hit top of cruise early, so I can probably even slow down my climb a little bit to gain some speed back. On top of the fact that it didn't increase my climb rate. So 1800 should be fine, unless it isn't. Yeah, I think we should be okay. That's it. So let me think. 1080p in a somewhat default plane out of a pay-aware scenery with high texture sheets. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make an 8 gig video card stutter. Yep, yep. That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Auto brake. I'm just gonna go ahead with auto brake 4 when I get down to Amsterdam because I don't know how long the runway is that we chose. Again, I don't care. I don't want to overrun, but honestly, this is just a performance test. Having fun though. Oh wow, that was smooth. I'm happy with that. Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, lower the volume on your headphones. I'm just going to check the frame rate outside real quick. Okay, so this number is deceptive considering how we're artificially enhancing it with lossless scaling right now. So it feels more like 60 FPS or higher. But yeah, yeah, the VRAM was definitely getting messed with on the ground at Heathrow. So there's two things that I'm probably going to want to keep for the rest of my lifespan with FS 2020. One, I'm going to want to make sure that I keep my texture resolution no higher than medium, and the monitor that I'm using right now is maxed out at 1080p, so I don't care, and I'm okay with 1080p as long as my graphics look good. But I know I'm not going to do anything higher than medium for texture sheets, and I'm probably not going to be doing anything crazy with terrain level of detail. That could have also had something to do with my stuttering. Otherwise, nah, I think we're good. So let me think. 11:30 on a Wednesday night. Should I crack open my mini can of Coke? Why not? It's for you, Chad. I do not drink soda that much. I barely drink soda at all. So when I have like even a tiny can of like Coke or Pepsi, it's a thing. Mrs. Digi is partaking as well. Okay, so let me not goof around too much. We've literally got top and drop coming in about 15 nautical miles. So set this to 2,000 and go to my init ref for approach. I think we're going to do flaps 25 because there's not much of a difference anyway, which means we're going to be landing VREF plus 5 at 161 knots. That's probably going to feel fast, which is funny and cool at the same time. My brakes better be in good working order. That's all I gotta say. Oh, And I think I also have blue turned on. So if the screen looks like stupid bright, it's like, hey, pilots have to wear sunglasses in real life. So there you go. That's cool. So welcome aboard, everybody. Very happy to have you all with me tonight. Thanks for stopping in. This is just a quick bit of a shakedown stream. I can already see, I think, the shore of Belgium and maybe the Netherlands coming into view. This is a test stream to see how good the sim performs. Just a quick life update. Things have not been ideal. Mrs. Digi and I ran across a few situations that required us to really buckle down and figure out what we could do. But then again, I find myself in good company, I think, because so many of us that live in the States right now are just, doing the best we can to provide for our families, work our job, make ends meet. I wasn't expecting to be dealing with some of the situations that I've dealt with over the past like 72 hours, but at the same time, is what it is. So, I'm, excuse me, Mrs. Digi and I are making the best of the situation that we're in right now, trying to figure out how to do life right. And praise the Lord, so far things have just continued to line up. Am I where I want to be right now fiscally? No, no, nowhere even close. And to be honest, it's making things way more difficult than I'd like them to be. But it's like I told somebody right now. It's like I told somebody today. Having my ledger with more red in it, my having my books right now with more red than black ink. It's it's a reminder to me of the shed blood of my Lord and Savior Jesus for my eternal soul, my salvation. So stuff like money, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like the less of it you have, at once you cross a certain point, you're just like all you're focused on is living life to the best of your ability, and you you don't want to care. I mean, at least I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. But like you kind of don't want to care about some of the stuff that you used to care about. Yes, I want to make sure the situation is the absolute best it can be for my family, for my pets, but for myself, it's kind of like I become a workhorse or like a mountain mule. I'll just plod along happily with a load on my back. Yes, I get tired. Yes, I hurt. Yes, I'm dealing with a medical situation myself right now. But at the same time, it honestly is what it is. And I try to take it one challenge at a time. Fortunately, the really cool thing was I had a nice conversation with somebody at work today. So, in one sense, I'm definitely not alone in the situation that I'm facing. And I think being a bit more transparent with them helps. Now, am I saying that I should tell every single person I meet my life story? Maybe not. A little bit of mystery is a good thing. But grateful for my support system, grateful for Yahweh God. Just, I want to take things a step at a time as best I can, and we will do things from that point of view. Looks like we're about to hit top of drop. We got like what, 10, 5 nautical miles? We should be okay. I can clearly make out the shore. Oh yeah, we're smooth now. So I think once top and drop gets in my decision cone, we're going to start going down. You'll probably see the HSI do its thing. And speaking of which, let's get these things brighter. There we go. That's going to help me. Oh yeah. In fact, to be completely honest, I might go the exact opposite way and do low texture resolution just to see if it benefits me. Okay, okay, there we go. I was just about to tap the altitude knob on the MCP, and now I think we'll begin descent automatically. Oh, you know what also would help? If I actually had VNAV turned on. I think that would help. And now the plane's gonna dive faster than an emergency descent to catch up to the profile, which, if you weren't in your seats with your seatbelt fastened, would be problematic because I think you'd be off the ground and probably learn a lesson. So, there we go. We're on our way down to Amsterdam. So, problem is that we're going straight from the departure out of Heathrow to the RNAV approach into Amsterdam. But the really cool thing is, number one, I don't care. Number two, I'm way more interested in how my PC will handle this instead of how, the proper procedure is, stuff like that. Again, this is way more an arcadey flight than anything I usually do. Now, if you stick around long enough, not tonight, but maybe the next time I stream, I might hop back into the, I might hop back into the 737-600, and then that will put me in a place where I can have the virtual first officer use FS2 crew, do value airline flows, get things configured, integrate fully with GSX. That was fun. That was fun. I used FS2 crew a lot on the Fly West Young Man series in Canada, where we flew from airport to airport. I also don't know why the VNAV is descending as sharply as it is when I don't need to get to 2000 that quickly. What is that, 80? I'd be like 10 to 15 nautical miles out at 2,000 feet. Do I care though? Not really, because I have VNAV set. If it's 090, let's go ahead and at least get the heading bug lined up with 066 for the heading. And my assumption is that there is going to be a little bit of stuttering when we get close to the ground at Amsterdam, and that we're also going to see some missing jetways. The missing jetways I don't care about. Like it's gonna, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. What I'm more concerned about is performance. But again, like I said, I'm not gonna be using high texture resolution anymore. It's either gonna be low or medium. I tested once to see if low texture resolution actually makes it more likely that jetways will still be there, like the default jetways when you get to your destination airport. But unfortunately, I think It must be some other kind of memory pool, because once I did that with low resolution for textures and it still had jetways missing somewhere. So I don't know. But again, to everyone in chat and everybody lurking and everybody watching the replay, thanks for tuning in tonight. This is just a quick test of the FS 2020 system with some graphics tweaks to FS 2020 as suggested by the NVIDIA AI, which almost worked except for the fact that I have an 8K graphics card at an airport with, I think, multiple 4K texture sheets. So no, no. I'm going to go ahead and say hard pass. There are certain things that I still need to control, and texture resolution is definitely one of them. I do wish that texture resolution could be adjusted inside the sim, but you have to pick a different setting, exit the sim, and reload for the change to take place. I don't know. Superb. I had like a teeny can of Coke, so it wasn't even like a full-size can. I'm hoping the VNav recognizes I'm about to cross 10,000 feet and reduces my descent rate so I can slow down. I think that's what's going to happen. Oh, speaking of which, let me go ahead and arm my speed brake. Speed brake is armed and I have auto brake 4. So we should be good. And this is probably why it tried to descend early, so that I could actually have a chance to slow down at 250 knots to cross 10,000 feet. And before I forget, let's go ahead and turn on those things now. Okay. Time for the flight attendants to finish getting the cabin ready for arrival. Hopefully we'll have a much better landing than we did takeoff. That frame rate was horrible. Let's adjust. Okay, still slowing down. I might have to deploy speed brakes to get us down at 2,000 feet. But at the same time, we've got like 30 nautical miles before that happens, before we actually have to really be concerned about our altitude. So we're coming up on 250. We should be able to keep descending even faster. Looks like we are. I'm looking at the flight yoke. I chuckle because back in like 2022, 2023, or no, actually it was like 2021, I was in a micro center and I was kind of like walking the aisles with Mrs. DIGI, and my eyes happened to catch I think it was like a Boeing captain's pack. It was the flight yoke and like the rudder pedals. I I wonder if I would have done even more airline flying if I actually would have gotten it. However, that's neither here nor there. Like I said earlier this year, I almost had a chance to buy a force feedback steering wheel and gas brake pedals, but you know, my current financial situation happened, and you know, it's kind of like one of those things. Nobody really anticipates something like that happening, but you do your best. I will go ahead and say that the the lessons that I've learned over the past, excuse me, over the past year have been burned into my memory. Yeah, yeah. And to be honest, I kind of felt like I had to, dive because I felt like I was about to get beamed by one of those curveballs. And one of them kind of grazed my hip. So yeah, they do hurt. I'm talking about life curveballs, not real ones. So no. Um, but it sucks when the here's the thing. You know what bothers me more? It bothers me more when something happens when because of me, someone else has to pay for my stupidity. That bothers me so much more. Like, okay, I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but it's like, okay, sure, I made a wrong turn, I get pulled over, I get a moving violation, okay, I'll pay it, fine. But when that moving violation means that someone in my family can't get something nice for, their sister or like their cousin, or, we have to wait another couple of days before we actually sign up for something, it's kind of like, ouch, like that moment when you realize, oh, yeah, it was because I was stupid. Yeah. That bothers me. And believe me when I say I had plenty of those moments last year. But reasons, clearly, that's water under the bridge. I don't have a time machine. I can't go back and fix my stupid. But at the same time, the all the stuff that I picked up along the way between then and now, there's so much that I've learned. So much. So literally, it's not just a question of saying it is what it is. It's literally, there's there's a level of gratitude that I have for simpler stuff right now that I didn't have before. The kid me that used to work 10 years ago, 8 years ago, that just just did the things and came home and just kind of tuned out and maybe, actually likely, didn't do nearly as much around the house as he should. That kid's gone. I'm at a place right now where it's like, you know, Mrs. DG has difficulty getting around, so I need to step up, help her as much as I can, and that's my duty. That's my role, and it's something that will pay dividends in the end. And you get you get a little bit more tired when you're trying to do stuff and you're doing a lot more than you usually do. But those are the stories you tell your kids in the future. Like for example, uh, you know, if we do have a family, we plan to adopt. So that's something that I might tell my kids in the future, or like, who knows if those kids have kids, my grandkids. You you gain so much by going through really rough spots in life, and it's honestly something that I've just like felt resonating in my head over and over and over again. These are epic times, but at the same time, they're amazing too. Oh, oh, wow. Someone's flying to Boston. Okay, so the computer's calculating how to get down to 2,000 feet, and we are like 5 nautical miles away from, I think, the final approach fix. So I could probably start turning on my approach mode now, or I might wait until we get down. But you know what I do need to do? I need to actually start slowing down. FMC. Oh, extend speed brakes? Huh. Word. Chat. What do I do when I gotta slow down? And I'm this slow to the ground? Landing gear. That'll get you going. Give me flap 1. Flap 5. 10-mile final. Flap 10. Going through the motions. Let's go. Flap 15. And again, we're doing flap 25 today. 17. 18. And 20. Actually, what was it? 30? No, 25. And 25. Winds are from the southeast at 17. The runway looks kind of short. But, chat, good news. I'm not getting crazy stutters at the moment. And we are fully configured. Thank you, Cargo. It was totally just a thrown together flight plan. Believe me, I do not take any credit for it. Coming up on 2,000 above. Winds are shifting just a little bit. Give me my eyes, folks. Give me my eyes. Okay, so we're kind of crabbing a bit right now. And look like it's dying down a little bit. You know, approach mode would be nice. But I think we're a little late for that, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the warning and pitch down. I forgot to hit approach mode. That's okay. I don't think we're going to get that much more speed, and auto throttle is still on. Also, personal lesson, I do not turn off auto throttle in this plane until I literally touch down. It's just that simple. Alright, a little bit off. Winds have shifted slightly. 1,000, stable-ish. Winds are now about to come down the nose, which is great. Just a little bit off. Oh, duh, this is an RNAV. A little bit wobbly, but we're looking good.
Approaching minimums.
Oof.
Minimums.
Landing.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
There we go. And down. Reverse green. Speed brakes up. Reverser's normal. Auto brake disarm. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree, Cargo. I definitely think it had something to do with the texture, texture mapping, or the quality, the height of the textures. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, I think this is my next exit right here. All right, where are we? We were landing to the east, so we're not going that way. And I think we're gonna go this way. All right, let's take it to the bridge. Take it to the bridge. All right. We probably turn off here. Yeah. A teensy bit of decorum. Let's get those speed brakes tucked in. And bring the flaps back up. I don't do landing rate predictions because I don't use Sim Toolkit Pro anymore, but I would imagine the landing rate was probably somewhere in the 320s. I landed the plane like a Navy fighter jet in an aircraft carrier. Set up the flare and just let the ground take it from there. Okay, so we're on the ground at Amsterdam, and don't know, man. I feel like we're looking good right now. Let's get the lights off, wing lights off. It's fine. Yeah. Do I go that way or this way? I think I'm gonna pick this gate. Yeah, the FPS is definitely a lot better here. So yeah, I think the verdict is in. The the terrain detail and the texture mapping, or the texture resolution, excuse me, is gonna stay medium. At least for now. Obviously, the sooner I get my CMOS battery replaced, the better it's going to be in terms of preserving my performance numbers. But I'm really pleased with how like bespoke stuff shows up in the sim. there's this there's a smoothness with lossless scaling. Looking good. And park. All right. Not bad. Not bad. All right. So, we're not going to have what am I trying to say? We're not going to have the GSX jetways here because this is a bespoke airport. And I think I set my GSX rules to not replace jetways and third-party scenery. So technically, this is a third-party scenery. So, we are parked up. The APU is running. I can probably get plugged into ground power if I want to, and I do. I can turn the taxi light off, and I can go ahead and power down now. So, a little bit less than an hour door to door. And honestly, I'm quite pleased with that. And can I do Control J? Does it work? And no, I'd probably have to use GSX to connect the jetway. It's okay. I'm not worried about it. The plane does look wonderful. Let's do a little bit of flying around here in the external drone cam. I'm really pleased with the way this airport looks. Ooh, let's see. That was crazy loud. Okay, but I don't know. I think I'm really happy with the results. Other than the fact that I can't have high levels of texture mapping, excuse me, texture resolution, this was good. This was actually pretty good. Thanks to everybody that stopped in today. Uh, you know, not bad for a Wednesday night. I'm pleased with how everything turned out. I do want to do scenery development. I feel like there is some room that's starting to open up in terms of timing and focus. Both those things are required in order to do some meaningful stuff with scenery development, even if you're just goofing around. And I feel like the opportunity is opening up, so I want to take advantage of it. Thank you, Cargo. You have a great night. Thanks again to everybody that stopped in. If I do another stream this week, I'm debating whether it's going to be like a Japanese trucking stream or if it's going to be another flight, like a flight in the 736. I might I might reserve I might reserve no more than like one stream a week for flying. Nice 7-8. I might reserve no more than one stream a week for flying. And then if I'm going to do a second stream, it's either going to be like a dev stream or I'm going to do trucking or something. So that's what I'm going to do. E-Rock, take it easy, my friend. Thanks so much for stopping in. Yeah, folks, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out here. If I'm going to do another stream, it's either going to be tomorrow night or Saturday. Right now, I think there's a pretty good chance it's going to be Saturday. And I don't know. I'm thinking about possibly doing a redemption flight, like a flight that's long enough for me to also be doing other stuff on stream, like maybe doing development. And by that I mean probably using Blender to make some fun stuff to get myself back in the mood to finish some long-standing projects. Lyles, if you have to go, take care. So I might. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything with anyone on Saturday other than chilling at home. But if I'm chilling at home on Saturday and there's no plans for me to go anywhere, then we might just do a flight. I might get the Salty Mod 747 installed into MSFS and fly to Heathrow with admittedly adjusted settings, or I might not even do that. I might fire up P3D and do like a classic flight. And now that I'm adjusting it more and more, I might do a P3D flight either in Europe or Africa and make it a long haul. Like if I do Europe, I might do Manchester or like Heathrow or Gatwick to say Athens or like Lisbon to Helsinki or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but again, thanks to everybody that stopped by and said hello and just hung out with me. It's a privilege having you here tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. Hang in there, my friends, and make the most of every day that you are given. I'm trying to do the same myself. Like I always like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that is Jesus Christ. Thank you, friends. Have a great rest of your evening. Rest well. Oof, it's too loud out here. Rest well and take care. We'll catch you guys in the future, maybe for another European flight or a flight somewhere around the world, or maybe even for something totally different, like visiting Disney and Minecraft or something like that. Until next time, friends, have a great night, and I'll see you in baggage claim, okay? Take care.